Welcome to the next video where we discuss the Banner AMG, an airline in our plan here. We're using it to monitor our hydraulic test stand. We're using it to monitor our air dryer system and our compressed air system. We'll be also monitoring our hydraulic fluid tower system so we know exactly how much hydraulic fluid we have in our tower. And now we're connecting it to the Banner CDS, their cloud data server. So let's turn it over to that screen. So the first screen here I'm showing is where we connect or are connected into it, and this shows the location. Where we're here, this is the airline building, and the green dot on the screen is where the AMG is located in our building. If we click onto the main, I have a main dashboard that I have that has all the sensors that we're currently monitoring here at Airline. I imported a photo in there so you can see where our airline building is. I have it broken up into three groups. I have it the air dryer group, the compressor room group, and then our hydraulic test stand. Now, if right now all the icons here are showing green, green of course is good. If there were a warning indication would be in yellow, and if it was a critical warning, it would be in red. What I've done is I've added different dashboards in for each room. So let's go on to the next room. The next room is our compressor room, where I have these icons again in the room. But to show you also, there is some graph data at the very bottom of this room where I'm showing the current monitor for the first compressor on the left. And as you can see on this, there is one area that is spiked really high. Well, the concern could be either, is there a problem with the motor, or was the compressor just on a compression stroke when the motor started? And because I haven't seen that since, I'm assuming that it was sitting on a compression stroke because our average current use is about 23 amps. And then here we're at 42.7 amps. Note that as you move the mouse across or the icon across, you're seeing the actual data, and across the bottom, you're seeing the actual time and date stamp. We also have the same with the temp and humidity in the room. That sensor is up high on the control box where I'm monitoring the humidity. Humidity is a key thing to monitor in a compressor room because the compressor is pulling in humid air. As it compresses it, it creates water. Water is not a desirable thing in the compressed air system. I'm monitoring both air compressors. Both of them have a temp and vibration sensor as well as a current sensor. Temp and vibration is important on the motor because it indicates what the motor's health when it comes to vibration, and also the temperature if it's getting too hot. So let's move over to the dew point, because actually the next step in the process of the air compressor is monitoring the compressed air out. So we have the compressed air pressure, which I'm showing with a gauge. We're at about 111 PSI currently. And then I show the dew point prior to our air dryer and then post our air dryer. And here up top is the AMG that's actually monitoring this. So I'm showing the we're sitting at about 95% of a relative humidity, and post we're at about 78%. So our dryer is working. I'm also looking at the temperature. We're sitting at about 69 degrees. Post we're sitting at about 60 degrees. I also have a chart at the bottom. This is showing that there's different types of monitor we can do, whether it's a gauge, whether it's a chart, or whether we go further in and we choose one of the devices and we actually click on it and we actually view the charts, where you can go into the charts and see further the set points. And if you want to analyze one further, you can expand it where you can actually look further at that device. Note again the timestamps and the date that across the bottom for each data point that is taken. Next, we'll go to our hydraulic test stand. So right now in this, I'm showing basically the current of the motor. So there's a current CT that I have connected to the motor connecting cable in the control cabinet. I have an ultrasonic sensor in the top of the tank indicating my hydraulic fluid level. I have a pressure sensor that's indicating our current pressure of the hydraulic test stand. It's not currently in use, but I can actually look at that data. If I wanted to see historical data, I can actually view that item when it comes up. There it is. And I can look a little bit more in depth, and using the mouse wheel, I can actually scroll, I can actually widen that to actually see when I saw the different times and how long. I can see the duration from when it started and when it ended. So with that, there's temp and vibration. It's that little magnet that we discussed when we were talking about the panel earlier, the pressure sensor, a ultrasonic sensor, which is actually showing also a fluid level on this bar. So we created this bar so that way it is showing the distance of the fluid from the sensor. So right now we're in a green, which is full. We would want to make sure we don't get down too low during the operation of a larger system. Another feature about this is the alerts. So you can go into the Banner CDS, and for each device, you can set the warning and the critical. And you can either look at the chart or you can actually go through and you can edit it. And you can set those values in there and you can time to which room you're looking at. Another area to look at is in the tools would be our history. I can look through all the history of where my alarms were, warning or critical, when it cleared. It gives you the values of each of those and each of the devices. So I have the dew point post dryer, I have the compressor room temp and vibration. So these are all settings, and then in the beginning of that, you can show the date and the time. You can also get email alerts. So from the email, I can go into the groups. Let's see, hold on here, tools, history, email. So all the emails that you get. So we talk about email alerts. So if I zoom in, when you get an alert to your email address, it's going to highlight in bold the item that is critical or warning. You can also download that whole spreadsheet of all that information and use that for a later date on a machine. So if you have any further questions, there's so much more you can set up with the Banner CDS. We're using this at Airline to monitor our compressed air system as well as a hydraulic power unit. Please contact us here at Airline. We're more than willing to come and do a demo. Again, if you like the video, please click on the subscribe and the alert, and we would love to come by and talk to you about the Banner AMG and CDS. Thank you.